Happy Tuesday, scholars. Today, for your first fluency, you're going from standard form, which looks like all of these equations, to slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. So, for number 1, I have x plus y equals 4. My goal is to isolate the y right here. So I want to subtract x from both sides. X minus x is 0, and I'm left with positive y equals negative x plus 4. The y is by itself, it's positive, we're good to go. Number 2 is a little bit more complicated. So I have 5x plus 7y equals 49. I'm going to subtract 5x from both sides, and when I do that, I am left with 7y equals negative 5x plus 49. Now I have 7y. I'm going to divide by 7, and I'm left with y equals negative 5/7 x plus 7 for number 2. For number 3, I subtract 7x from both sides, and I get y equals negative 7x plus 8. So on and so on. I'll do one more example, and then you're going to do the rest on your own. Okay, so for this one, it might look scary because there's a fraction, but to move 2/9 x over, I'm just going to subtract 2/9 x from both sides. Sorry that it keeps auto-focusing. So I'm going to subtract 2/9 x from both sides, and then I'm left with y equals negative 2/9 x plus 4. Sometimes too, okay, so I'm going to do one more example because there's one more thing I forgot to mention. Sometimes, like in number 14, when we subtract, so I know I'm going to subtract 7x from both sides. But I'm not just left with y when I do that, I'm left with negative y because of that minus sign. So I get negative y equals negative 7x plus 9. So is the y by itself yet? No, it's negative. It can't be negative. So I'm going to divide everything by negative 1, and I'm left with y equals 7x minus 9. A negative divided by negative is a positive divided by negative is a negative. So that's going to happen to you as well as you're working on these. After you finish this, you have a practice constructed response to do. So you're being asked to write equations. So I need to write an equation. Whenever you see write an equation, you should think y equals mx plus b. To write an equation, I need to find two things. I'm going to find my slope, and then I need to use an x and y to find b, or the y-intercept. So since I'm given a table, to find my slope, I need to do y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So here's my x's, here's my y's. So I'm going to say this is x1, y1, x2, y2. So I have 3 minus 7 over 1 minus 3. 3 take away 7 is negative 4 over 1 minus 3 is negative 2. When I divide, I found that my slope equals 2. So found my slope. That's going to go here. Now I need to find my b. The only way to find my b is to use an x and y from the table, plug them in, and solve. So y equals mx plus b I'm going to use x is 3 and y is 7. So y is 7 equals, I know my slope is 2. And if y is 7, x is then 3 plus b. 7 equals 6 plus b. How do I solve for b? I need to subtract 6, b equals 1. So now I know my slope, it's 2, I know my y-intercept is 1. So my equation is just going to be y equals 2x plus 1. Okay, now same thing here. I need to write an equation of a line. Y equals mx plus b that passes through the points -2, 1, and 4, 2. So same thing I have to do. I have to find my slope. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. I'm going to say this is x1, y1, x2, y2. So y2 is 2 minus y1 is 1 over x2 is 4 minus x1 is -2. So that equals 1 over 4 minus the -2 is positive 6. So that's my slope. My slope is going to be 1/6. Okay, so now I'm going to find my y-intercept. So I'm going to start with y equals mx plus b. I'm going to use these 2 points to put in for y and x. So 2 equals 1 over 6. X is 4 plus b. 4 times 1/6. So 1/6 times 4 over 1 equals 4/6. So 2 equals 4/6 plus b. I need to subtract 4/6 from both sides. So when I subtract, I have 2 wholes and I'm taking away 4/6. So I'm still going to have 1 whole. So I'm going to have 1 whole and 2/6 left. That's going to equal b. So I know my b is 1 and 1, or 1 and 2/6. So y equals 1/6x plus 1 and 2/6. Okay, now this one. If the graph of the parent function f of x equals x is shifted up 9 units, what would the equation of the new graph line be? So f of x equals x has a slope of 1 and a y-intercept of 0. So it starts here. And then it goes up 1, over 1, up 1, over 1, down 1, over 1, down 1, over 1. Okay, and it looks like that. If I shift it up 9 units, I'm just literally going to take this and move it up. The slope doesn't change. So it's like I'm moving this line up 9 times. So that means the y-intercept is no longer going to be at 0, it's going to be at 9. So my new equation would be f of x equals x plus 9. And that is it for ELT today. Thank you so much for your attention. See you again on Thursday. There's no ELT tomorrow.